All right, class, right now we are being recorded. Hopefully this video can be posted on regular YouTube versus our own channel. So we'll see what we could do here. Right now I have a part, this part right here, and it's inside assembly. I already have the assembly started, assembly 1, and here's my visor. So I have the one part in. For whatever reason, my shield that I originally built is gone, so I cannot locate it anymore. But it doesn't matter because I'm going to build a shield on the fly using this part as my base. The way to do this is you are going to go and create a new part. So instead of inserting a component, you're going to say new part. When you create a new part, you can pick wherever you want to create it. In my case, I'm going to create it, use the top of the shield. I'm sorry, the top of the bill to visor, whatever word we want to use to create that part. So now I'm actually in a new part. The new part that you're in, remember the last video I did, you know the part you are in because it is blue in color. You notice how down here it's blue. That's how I know that's the part I'm working on. The other part in my assembly is not blue. You see that it's a black color? You notice that? Also, you'll notice that the other part is silhouetted. See that? It's transparent, okay? The reason it gets really dark down here and it's not this way because that's a shadow. It's a shadow pointing down, okay? So now I'm in my part and I say to myself, okay, self, I'm going to go ahead and create a sketch. So what I'm going to do is use my part that is already in my assembly to make my new part, which is the shield that has to fit flush to my visor. The way I do that, I don't want to rebuild everything from scratch. As I've told you in the past, be lazy. The best way to be lazy trying to make this part, and that does mean efficient, just remember that, is you click on convert entities. Just like you can convert entities inside your part file where you want to use a sketch from a previous extrusion or revolve to make another element. You can do that from one part to the other. So I can literally share the profile of one part into another part. And that's what I'm about to do. So I click convert entities and I literally pick that front curvature. See that? Of the bill, because that's the curvature. That's the area that the shield has to sit in front of. Okay. And I hit OK, and voila. Now, within my part, right here, okay, I have my sketch right there. So when I, now I can go ahead, let's say I can go ahead and add the rest of the geometry. I can do offset entities, make it the thickness of the face shield material that I have on hand, which is 0.030. Okay. And hit OK. Then I can, obviously I have to finish it because it's not completely done. I can go ahead and to my top view, or normal to, excuse me, normal to. Okay, zoom in. Okay, finish the rest of the element. I'm going to draw a line. I'm going to be not so perfect in my lines. I'm just going to draw something that looks like that. I'm going to go ahead and extend entity. I'm going to pick, oh, I can't extend entity because I don't have a line. Now I will. I'll just send it out there somewhere. So now I can go ahead and trim these back. Okay, now I realize, I don't, do I want it to extend that far? Do I want it to stop where this is? It's up to me or the designer how I want to do this, but I'm going to drag this down and have it end maybe over, whoops. You'll notice, I said whoops because you'll notice there's a mistake. You see how it started touching this thing? You see how you see that pinkish? That's a visual cue to stop yourself. See, it really needs to be separated. So be careful. The software is going to want to quote unquote help you. So you have to be careful when you move your mouse around that it doesn't accidentally lock into something. So you notice that my first time when I dragged this down, I used this and then it touched. See that? To avoid that type of situation, use the other side and drag it down. So there's all these little things that you have to pay attention to in the process of building. That's why I always say to you, zoom in, work close to whatever it is you're working on. Trying to work from a distance is hard. So you could zoom in. Now, I built this on this side, but I would like the same, I'd like this side to match that side. I could use mirror, but I'm not going to. Instead, I'm going to do a different method just to show you. I'm going to draw a construction line, which is a center line, across. You see that? Okay. And then I'm going to draw a line from the end point of here out. Okay, I'm trying to make sure it goes straight. And the end point of here and out. Make sure it's straight. See how I did that? I'm going to trim both of these back to here. Okay. And now you see that they're married to this line. And then I'm going to go ahead and draw a line across to close everything. Okay. And now, there you go. I'm going to hit OK. Back it out. And then I'm going to go ahead and extrude this. This is an example of where I'm going to extrude different distances. We talked about this in class, but it didn't have a good example for when on earth would I want to extrude longer in one direction than another. This is a perfect example of this. When I go to extrude and I pick my sketch, you'll notice that in one direction, above the bill, I want it to go maybe 1 inch. Okay. And then in direction 2, which is going straight down, I would like it to go maybe about 9 inches down the front face of the person. Okay. And then I would hit OK. And voila. There's my generic face shield. Now, this generic face shield is missing some things like the cutouts. You'll notice that obviously it's intersecting with the other part. And again, because I'm lazy, I'm going to pick the side wall of this part and create a new sketch. Okay. And in this face, when I go to normal to, it's a little tough to see, but where the two pieces intersect, there's this really neat option that we don't use too often. We did it when we created project 3, but here in this unique project, see this intersection curve option? Normally we pick convert entities, right? But intersection curve will literally be where these two, if I can do this right, and that's going to be the fun part. I'm going to open this up to make this a little easier for myself. This piece right here, see that? See how it just clicked the visor? What is it doing? It's intersecting with this piece, yes? You see that? So I picked the two parts and I hit OK, and guess what it did? On that plane, in that space, because I'm sketching on this face, I was not sketching on this face, you notice that? It created a sketch where I am working. It didn't create another one on this side. You notice that? Yeah. So it only created it on the side that I'm working. So I literally have a perfect cutout that matches to the T, the shape that intersects with my part. What do you think of that, guys? So I hit OK. They're all quiet. It's okay, don't worry, because I'll post this on. I know why you're quiet. It's okay. You know how much I like biofeedback, and I can't get it right now. Sorry.
Looks good so far, though.
Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. This is your basic geometry to use to create the cutout that's going to represent where the face shield connects with the main bot. I'm going to highlight the whole thing, though, and make it for construction, because, and this was what was discovered last night when this project was being worked on for real. the geometry, material is relatively inflexible, so you have to actually open that slot a bit more. And of all things, and this is what I should patent, I swear to God, is that piece right there. You need a little bit of give to be able to remove the visor from the face shield. And that's what this gives. This gives you give. And that is what was missing in the original design, and that is what I was working on correcting, and obviously that's where my part disappeared last night. So I'm going to make it a random number for now. Lucky 7 is what I'm picking. I gotta have that little sense of humor, right? So when it's your own design, you can do that. And then there you have it. So that's basically what it looks like in profile. So the cut is going to be a little bigger, and it's going to allow for me to wiggle a little bit. The more I can't make the slot bigger on the back side because obviously this piece is here, okay? But on top of it, I do want the face shield to lock into place. I don't want it to be wiggly woggly. Does that make sense? You don't want it to be wiggle wiggle. That's bad for the user of the shield. You want it to be a tight fit because that's what they need. That's where the safety comes in for them. So now I can go to features, extrude cut. And this is an example of where through all is really useful because I just literally flip through the whole thing and I hit OK. So now my slot's cut to both sides of the shield. Now you can add the other nice elements of putting in a fillet. 1 inch might look good. We'll find out. I'm going to pick this edge. You only pick that little edge. Remember that, not the sides. And this edge, just the edge. Remember, just the edge. You hit OK. Nice rounded top. The bottom is going to be a little different. I don't think a fillet will work because if you need to be able to pass the person's shoulder. And most of the other designs out there do not, they're not a rounded bottom. So we're going to go ahead and create a new sketch right there. And I'm going to create like an arc that might work. Not an arc. An ellipse might be a better choice. See how random, I'm just drawing something randomly. Something that might visually work. So I'm going to attach it to there. So at least it's attached to that side wall. Attach this to here. I'm going to drag it over a bit. See how I'm just messing with it? This is pure design. This is how designs actually get done. There's a lot of rough estimating. Okay. I can remove this and say I want the bottom to be tangent. Remember, to make the tangent, I got to pick the object, hold my control key down, pick the other object, and then I can give tangent as an option. And over here, I'd want it to be tangent as well. So I'd want to pick that object, pick this side wall, and then make that tangent to that. I don't want something that pronounced. So I'd probably see how I can adjust it to that. And then I go to convert entities and basically pop out the side walls that I want this to be up against. And this is a random shape. I didn't do anything too fancy to make this thing. It's just something like that. See that? And this is honestly how design work actually occurs. It isn't as precise. And when you're working on your project, your final project, where you're not going to be able to pull all the information in, like you had mentioned, one of you, I won't use names, sorry, that we just talked about, the adjustable tool, where you're trying to figure out how to make the handle. You know who you are. That's a good example of where you will have to do something like this, where you kind of fudge it a little bit. Extrude cut is our next step. We're going to, again, extrude through all. We're going to hit OK. And voila, there's your basic face shield. And you won't know whether or not this is a good design until you actually build it, as with all cases. And there you go. There's your assembly. Now is a good time to also show you colors. Are you good with this? You want me to save rendering for another day? It'll just take a moment. Let me just do it right now.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm going to do it right now. You have material choices on the side. So I'm going to go ahead and select what I want. I'm going to pick plastic because I know that my one part is 100% going to be plastic visor. So I click on that. Just notice how I clicked on it on the entire model. That way, when I assign this, it's going to assign it to the whole model. So I'm going to assign, I'll pick shiny. You see there's different color choice. Let me open this side up a little more. You can see this a little better. See that? I'm just going to randomly pick light gray, high gloss plastic just for fun. See that? And then all you do is you're really just attaching it to the part. Okay? Then you can, if you want to, go down here for material. See? It didn't attach as material. It's attaching to it as it's more of a, it's not the material that it is. That's a separate property that you would have to update. Let me update this real quick. Did you notice how fast it was to get out of editing a model to getting back to assembly? Remember, when you're editing a model, right now I can edit this part. Okay. To get back into assembly, all you do is click on this to jump back into assembly. Please remember that. The next part's going to be also plastic, but it's going to be clear. Let's see, clear plastic right there. Translucent plastic. So I'm going to assign that to this part. See that? The minute I touch it, see that? It becomes quote unquote transparent. Doesn't mean I went into the model or I'm editing the visor instead of the shield. It just means that the material assigned to that is plastic, clear plastic. Now this you can do whether you have rendering capability or not. Okay, so it doesn't matter if you have rendering capability or not. Okay, but if you wanted to render, for those of you that have that available feature, you click on the tab called Solidworks Add-ins, and you have something called Photo View 360. This is a beast. It's a wonderful tool. When you click on it, visually not too much seems to occur, but up here there's something called Photo View 360. When you click on that, now I can edit the appearance of my parts, and it actually takes me in a place where now I can assign more colors and do a couple of different things. So I'm going to pick red because that's one of my personal favorite colors. And you see you can apply it. Here, let me show you. Let me open this up a little bit. You have two ways to apply it. You can apply it at the component level or at the part document level. So I'll go ahead and just apply it at the component level. And all I do is literally pick the item. And I want it to be red. There you go. And that's it. And I hit OK. I always do the part level, just what I do. And now that's red. So instead of being gray. So now you have a visual difference between the two objects. They're not gray on gray.